Welcome to the Justin Ng Show, where real entrepreneurs and investors reveal how they turn humble beginnings into high-impact ventures. From bold moves to capital raises, we unpack what it really takes to build and scale greatness. Let's go check it out. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Justin Ng Show. Today, I'm joined with Maverick Bailey, the powerhouse behind the Maverick Approach, Jet Set Token, and the Break the Matrix. We're breaking down how to ditch distraction, lock in discipline, and build wealth with focus. From bulletproof mindset to tokenizing real estate on the blockchain, this episode is packed with game-changing insights. Let's go. What's up, guys? Today on Justin Ng Show, I have Maverick Bailey here, an awesome guest. Thank you so much, Maverick, for joining me today.
For sure.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, welcome. So usually how I start is like, how was your journey like from the beginning all the way when you started Maverick Approach?
Yeah.
Can you explain, elaborate more on like your journey?
For sure. So with Maverick Approach, I've been doing it for about 2.5 years. And we were just talking about it. Just start.
Just start, yep.
Exactly. That's the main thing, right? So I always knew I wanted to get in front of the camera because a long time ago when I was 4 years old, I started out as a child actor. I'm from Hollywood, so I'd done a lot of commercials. I was the top grossing kid at my agency. And I've always been in front of the camera, and I stopped around like 12 or 13-ish, right?
Okay.
So fast forward now, it's kind of coming full circle, but now I get to be myself in front of the camera. So I'm very familiar, with, content production and whatnot. So I always knew I wanted to do something in front of the camera again. Didn't know what. And people were like, hey, you should start a podcast. You should, do content. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. Talk about sports because at the time I love sports.
Yeah.
I don't watch too much basketball now.
Okay.
Finance, crypto, even relationships, different things that I just know.
Okay.
And that's the main thing. I was trying to figure out and reverse engineer it. Be like, okay, well, if it's not perfect, I don't want to do it. That's the wrong way to go. The best thing is to get it started.
Yes.
And not worry about, making it right or perfect. So that's my saying. I say, don't get it right, just get it going.
Yes, I remember you mentioned that. Yeah.
Right. So, and then from there, it just grew into what it is now. I talk about current events. I talk about, alternative news. I talk about finance and stuff I'm really interested in, and people really resonated with it. And here we are.
Nice. Okay. And during that whole journey, were there any challenges that you came across that, like help mold you to who you are right now? That was a life lessons and what you can share with?
Man, to be honest, you'll get a lot of self-doubt because you're trying to figure out like, I don't like the way my voice sounds. That's a big thing. People don't like when they hear themselves speak. They don't
like to hear them speak. Yeah.
Right?
It's different. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, I don't like the way my voice. So they start to pick themselves apart. And I think that is, the Achilles heel of, humanity. We're our biggest critics, right?
Yeah.
So being your biggest critic, it's a double-edged sword. You have to critique yourself, obviously.
Yeah.
But also don't be too hard on yourself to where you're stopping progress. So at first, that's something I was doing. I was like, I don't like the way I look or the way I sound.
Yeah.
But then again, I just kept thinking consistency is key. Consistency is how you get to success. So I was just like, just keep going. And then as I got more familiar with it and figured out my niche, then I just, kind of fell into it and then got more comfortable. So that was like the biggest hurdle, just starting, that starting point and getting over being your own worst enemy.
Gotcha. Yeah. And that, does it relate to like kind of like people who are in sports and athletes as well? They started young. I guess it's in terms of anything, it's the same thing, right? You just have to keep going, like from a baby, they start walking, they're not going to fall and then just stop doing it, right? They keep walking.
Right.
So it's basically like what you're trying to say right now, right?
How do we learn how to walk, right? So think about it. We would never learn how to walk if we self-doubted ourselves or had that critical thinking as a child, like, oh, I can never walk.
Yeah.
We would never walk. But that child just knows, I got to get up, I got to walk. Eventually, I'm going to learn this. And that's how we kind of, not like we have to keep that, kind of that resilience, I think that as a kid, we're so fearless. And now when we're older, we have all these blockages that, society has told us to make us scared and not do what we want to do. But as a kid, we're fearless. We're jumping off of tables. We're learning how to walk. We're doing all this crazy stuff. because we want to learn and we're curious,
Right.
regardless of the end result.
Okay.
So we should keep that, in our adulthood.
Do you think we lose it somehow? Is it because of society, family? Is that some kind of things that you also try to help people to change their mindset? Just a little tweak.
Yeah. I say that, when it comes to your environment, don't let it shape you. There's people who came from, rough backgrounds and became billionaires. And I think that taking other people's advice and then putting that into what you're doing,
Yeah.
when they're not going the same route that you're going,
Right. Yeah.
that's not what you want to do. Because here's the thing. If you're trying to do something, you're trying to be somebody, and you're taking advice from somebody who's never been there or done it, why are you listening to them?
Exactly. Yeah.
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 I'm not taking golf lessons from Michael Jordan,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to Tiger Woods.
Yes. Exactly.
So again, like, we have to have mentors and have people that actually have done it and been there, and those are the people we should be taking advice and listening to versus, oh, you can never do that. You can never do a podcast. Like, well, have you done a podcast before? No. Why am I listening to you?
Exactly. Yeah,
You
that's a good advice right there. And how was that like an aha moment for you that during your journey that kind of like made it like, oh shoot, now this is the trajectory I can follow because of everything you tried, like split testing, and then you got an aha moment that
Yeah.
projected you towards.
It's really just a long progress type of situation. It's like, it's day by day, right? The aha moment was fail fast and fail forward,
Gotcha.
right?
Feel fast, feel forward. Yeah.
I think that was the aha moment. I'm like, okay, the faster I get a no, the closer I get to a yes. The closer I get to the answer. Okay, this doesn't work. Great. I don't want to take 10 months figuring out one problem. Then, it doesn't work, or whatever that solution is, it takes 10 months, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to failing fast and failing forward, I need to know now, okay, this doesn't work. Let's figure it out. Okay, tomorrow, let's try this. So within that 10 months, now you're at a successful point because it's trial and error. So I think that was the kind of the aha moment.
Okay, and from that you just build it up and keep doing and failing forward, failing fast, failing forward, and just keep doing that, and then you made it into a habit basically, and then you just keep doing it and repeating it, and that's how you got to where you are right now.
Yeah.
Did you have any mentors or coaches along the way that help you and nudge you along the way to gain the success that you have?
Yeah, for sure. A ton of people that I've surrounded myself with who are just successful in various areas because their mindset was different. And I needed to be around that, to where if I'm around successful people and I'm around people who have done great things, they had to fail fast and fail forward as well.
Got it.
So they had that mindset and had that resilience to say, okay, you can do this. So it all starts here, right? So when you're thinking about building a house or a car, that thing doesn't exist until you what? Think about it.
Yeah.
It starts here.
Yeah.
So that mindset first, you have to be around that 24/7, and then you can start to manifest and have these things come to fruition.
Okay.
So I think that's the key. Be around like-minded people, so that you can't be around a bunch of people who are just naysayers. Again, people who haven't done the things that you want to do. It's all about your environment and the energy that you're bringing.
Okay. And you mentioned mindset and manifesting. Was that something that you had to learn as well, to do like a combination of those? Like, how do you put that into practice in terms of like, in daily things or in a business? How did you use that to help build yourself and build the character you have right now?
Yeah, great question. I would say that when it comes to mindset and attracting, it is something that it's really powerful. You can attract things just by thinking about it, because the point you say I can or can't do something, either way you're right. Okay? If you say I can't do this, there's no way I can do this, you have convinced yourself not to do something, you're right. You won't do it. There's no way in any scenario that you're going to do it. But if you are convinced, if you are hell-bent on, there's no way in any scenario where I'm not making this happen, and that's already locked in your mind, it's going to happen. Then you start to attract things and people that automatically just help you. And that's just how it works. That's how the universe works. When it comes to energy, when it comes to negative, positive, the more things you focus on, that's what you're going to get, right? So energy goes where attention flows, right?
Okay,
so if I'm looking for red cars all day, or I'm thinking about it first, and I go out into the world,
yeah,
I'm going to see red cars.
right. Okay,
So that's how it works. So the more you focus on something, that's how you attract it.
okay.
So I think that's again, mindset. That's the biggest part, and learning how to program yourself to think about certain things and tell yourself and speak to yourself in a certain way.
And then is that basically also manifesting out to the world? Like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. Like the red car example. All of a sudden you're just seeing red cars because you were paying attention to that.
Right.
And it's kind of like where they had like some balls falling down, and then there's a duck walking across.
Mm.
And said, do you guys pay attention to that? Was there a duck walking across and you didn't
Right. You
realize
didn't
it?
even realize it, right?
Until
I've seen a video like that.
Yeah.
I believe it was on TikTok, and it was all these people partying and
Yeah.
stuff going on, and they were telling you to focus on something like, "Hey, look at this girl with this blue shirt," something to that effect. But meanwhile, it was a dude dressed in a monkey suit
Yeah.
walking by, and he was like, "Oh, did you see the monkey?" You're like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, exactly.
Because you were so focused on the girl with the blue shirt. You're like, "Oh," and you rewind it, and it's like it was a whole monkey that just walked across.
Exactly. Yeah.
So again, we focus on whatever we want to focus on.
Okay.
That's how powerful your mind is.
And that basically also, it depends. It can be a positive and a negative, and that will help you to manifest and come to fruition the things that you want. So when how did right now you already gain the success you have? How are you like building that wealth and building that momentum to keep going? Or what's the future looks like right now?
I would say to continue to push the needle, push the envelope when it comes to creativity. How many different buckets can I pour myself into that ultimately, expand my brand, keep me creative? Again, having like-minded people around me to inspire me, stay inspired, but also stay disciplined.
Okay.
Right. So a lot of people say motivation is X, Y, and Z to success. Great. You could be motivated for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But the discipline is where you're going to get your ass out of bed, whether you want to or not. Right. So the discipline is like, okay, I got to do this podcast. I really don't feel like it. I really don't feel like talking today. But guess what? You're going to show up and go do it anyway.
Right.
That's the discipline. And that's the difference between you and 99% of other people, because most people aren't disciplined.
Correct. Yeah.
So just expanding on that to where I keep myself disciplined, I keep myself around like-minded people, and stay inspired and stay creative to where I can always reinvent myself, right? Because I never want to do the same thing I did 2-3 years ago.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So doing a podcast, how else can you make it better? What other buckets can you pour yourself into as far as your brand and expand on that? So I'm always thinking about that.
But if you put yourself in too many buckets, do you spread yourself too thin, or is it you have a team in place that already can help you to put yourself in newer buckets instead of thinking of it as like a shiny object syndrome? Like we always hear entrepreneurs always like they see the next best thing, they go for that, but then they put this on the back burner and it doesn't grow. And you mentioned that too, like just focus on one thing. So
right. And that's the main thing. Focus on one thing first. So I've already have a great brand. I have a lot of followers. Great. So now what? Sometimes people stay stuck on one thing too long and never reinvent themselves, and then they burn out. So I never want to do that. So do something really good one time, just one thing, focus on that. Then once you mastered that, then you can pour yourself in different buckets because you've already had this thing announced on autopilot. So like you're just like,
gotcha.
So it's something that you've already, you got it in the bag, but now you want to bump it up. See, the problem is what people do is they'll start out with 7 different things, right? So they'll do, I want to do real estate and a podcast and this and that, but you haven't mastered anything. You're a jack of all trades and a master of none, right? So what you want to do is have one thing that you're really good at, expand on that and build on top of that. So that's what I've done. I built a brand. So now I can expand on that brand. I can sell t-shirts. I can sell courses. I can do all this other stuff because my brand wants that, So it's time to build on top of it, So you can't build a house without the foundation first, right? You can't stop at start at the 10th level because there's no foundation. You got to build that foundation first and build on top of it.
Okay. And I know we will talk about it before off camera where so now you already have the brand, now you have go into a different bucket. Is the new bucket for you is like the tokenization of real estate? Is that the new bucket that you're focusing and being all disciplined on that one right now?
Yeah.
Is that the next thing for you in the next step?
Yeah, it's something that I've been working on for a few years now, but I knew that when it comes to personal branding,
Yeah.
that moves the needle when it comes to other businesses, right? So say if you have two or three other businesses, but nobody knows who you are. What you want to do is create a brand yourself. You be the face of those brands. So now you reverse engineered that whole situation to where, hey guys, you know Justin here. You guys know me from so and so, but now you can start to promote your other businesses through
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
So that's what I've had those businesses, my real estate business and my tokenization. Right now, we're tokenizing one of the biggest homes in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
$15 million house, and we're bringing that to blockchain. So I've been building that before I had my own personal brand, and I was like thinking, I was like, well,
Ah, okay.
maybe it's good to have your own personal brand so people are aware of what you're doing, and you got to make them care, right? So
Gotcha.
you can have the best product, you have the best whatever the case may be, but if nobody cares, nobody's buying. No
Understood.
buzz, no business,
Yeah.
right? So that's the thing. I think that when it comes to the future of business, and it could be real estate, finance, content, whatever it is, building a personal brand is paramount to success.
Gotcha. Yeah, for sure. And that's how it was for me too. When I started, it's like all over the place. And like you said yourself, just to put yourself in the right people, the right environment to be able to focus it down, to be disciplined. And how it is for me when I was growing up, because I grew up in an Asian household, it has to be always disciplined. You have to do this, like all tiger
Oh
moms and
yeah,
everything,
yeah,
and a different environment too. And I came here and for high school too, and I saw the difference. It's like, oh, that's very different here.
right,
So, and I see that too. I talking to people right now. I see the mindset and everything. So, like you said, everything's about mindset.
right.
And so, I guess what are you doing now to continue building your wealth and maintaining that wealth and try to like build generational wealth for yourself and your family? Like, what's the things that you do right now in terms of like investing for yourself because you already gained a success, you already built a brand. How are you using that success to be able to invest in other things that
Yeah. Uh, to be honest, being on the front edge, front cutting edge of blockchain, I'm a true believer in that.
hmm
I think it is something that it's going to change the world. It's going to change the face of business, and being on the ground floor as far as that, I think that would be one of my tickets
Gotcha. Okay.
to generational success, generational wealth,
Okay.
and continuing to build my personal brand. Because I think, again, when it comes to selling anything, I think people need a face to the name, to the product, and those things are going to really build public trust, right? A lot
Yeah.
of things right now, people don't trust these big faceless corporations because they put stuff in our food. They show us things that they lie about certain things on the media. So now what's happening is people are getting tired of that, and they need a person, a central point to go to and be like, hey, what do you think, or what's the alternative, what's the other options we have, and how can we trust you? And then showing that over time who you are, being fearless and being in front of the camera and be like, hey, this is who I am, this is what I think, here's all the options versus all that. So again, when building a brand and the future of business, I think the personal brand is going to be at the front end of that. So and then just monetizing that, with all my companies that I have, I want to be the face of all my companies to where people can interact with it, and I'll be the central point and guide them through that. So that's how I'm doing that.
Okay. In speaking of that, guiding through them in tokenization and blockchain, do you also help people and say, hey, I have this business. I'm thinking of tokenizing my business. Will you
Mhm.
be able to help um, people who are going to go through that route for them?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So actually, Jet Set, what we're doing is we're only dealing with real world assets, right? So what that means is real estate, stocks, cars, events, things that are in real life and tangible. But we're onboarding other companies and helping them through that. is through tokenization with our BaaS project, which is blockchain as a service.
Blockchain as
So
a service.
yes,
Wow, I haven't heard of that
yeah.
before.
So you heard of SaaS, right?
Yeah.
So blockchain as a service is a version of that of SaaS. So we're going to be onboarding other companies and other brands and helping them with the adoption of blockchain.
Nice. That's
So
amazing.
yeah, so because it's a huge learning curve and
Yeah.
everything's moving so fast, people won't have time or the money to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
They'll burn out really fast. So we'll have that shortcut to where they can come to us and be like, hey, okay, I want to get into crypto, tokenization, blockchain. How can you help? And we'll have an onboarding process and integrate that into their business or brands.
Okay.
So so that's how we're doing it with Jet Set on the back end and the front end. Everything else will be tokenizing and whatnot and showing them in education. I do a lot of education as well.
Mm-hmm.
I have classes and courses and programs that I put people through because education is key. You got to know what you're putting your money into before you actually do it. Right.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest part of cryptocurrency and blockchain is the education.
Okay. And based on the timeline you mentioned, so you started that first before you did your branding. Um, was there some education from doing that crypto and tokenization that taught you, was like, hey, I should be putting that as well and build a brand because of that to be able to bring everything together in one whole cohesive things, and because that's how it is right now for you, right? You build a
Right.
brand already, but the tokenization was the things that you started first, and the
Yeah.
education build up, and then and it's concurrently growing.
Yeah. It all like kind of came together, and
Yeah.
and I think that as I was going through this journey of building that company, and we're still building and whatnot. Um, the personal branding part was a big part because I can shortcut and teach people through my own brand. And I have public trust. People know me, they know my videos, and showing people like, hey, this is what I'm doing as well. I'm not only just teaching you, but now we're implementing it in a real world scenario.
Gotcha.
So now they can, choose to interact and get, with us as far as Jet Set, and whether they get the token or they use some of our services, whatever the case may be. Now they feel more comfortable via Maverick Approach, doing that, and me teaching them personally.
Gotcha. And if anybody comes to you for tokenization, will you be also coaching them on the branding as well to build
Yeah.
a?
So we're actually opening up a Web3 education center
Oh wow,
here.
nice.
And also, we'll have an onboarding process and teaching people how to build personal brands, utilize social media, videography, photography, whatever the case may be, holding their hand, because there's really no place to go to as far as like being a creator and working with an actual creator, taking you from A to Z.
Mm-hmm.
And then the flip side of teaching them, people who just everyday regular people who just want to learn Web3, crypto, all that stuff. We'll be able to facilitate that too.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
And you guys have a facility already all ready, or is it all like
yeah,
still?
we're acquiring it. Yeah, we're
Wow, that's
building it here.
amazing.
Yeah, so it's gonna be really cool. So
Wow, that's
yeah, we'll
amazing.
do an event. I'll invite you.
Oh sure, yeah,
Yeah, we're doing
definitely.
an event soon. We'll have that together. So it's gonna be cool.
That's truly amazing. Yeah, that's gonna be like a one-stop shop for people, because I know, like you say, like there's always a school for videographers,
Yeah,
photographers, but there's nothing like a combination. And most of them are just individuals doing it. And then they're like yourself building a
right,
brand, but to put everything in one roof and to teach everything, and you can just specialize in that certain areas, right? You don't have to like always in a broad sense. Maybe you just bring them in, they'll tell them this is what that you have and the services you have, and just choose whichever you want.
right,
That's truly amazing. So it's like a menu of things for them to
right.
choose.
Exactly,
Um,
exactly.
and that's one of your next bucket that you're putting
Yeah,
aside.
exactly. That's the next one. Yep,
That's
exactly.
amazing. And how how is it that right now, in your experience and everything you've done, like how is the adoption of like tokenization,
Mm.
and people using it as well for building their brand from that? Because I know tokenization is going, because of blockchain, right now everything is, after the current administration is in office, because previous one didn't really support it, but right now
Right.
everyone's supporting it. And I see it mostly like they're two moving separate ways, but sometimes like for you, we put it all together. Is there a way other than your next bucket is to put it all together. How can people do and learn more about that stuff? Is there a way before your event, your courses and
Yeah.
your school?
Yeah. Before I actually open up my Web3 center, I do personalized consultations. I
Okay.
have a program called Break the Matrix Community, to where you get into the community and we have weekly calls. I have different modules in the program to show you blockchain, AI, this, that, and it's, essentially an ongoing school, like a, education program. So that I built to, for one, get around like-minded people.
Mm-hmm.
Two, teach them things that are up and coming, in technology, because again, it's a huge learning curve and there's nowhere to go. There's no school for AI. There's no school for crypto, in a sense. We can watch videos, we can watch other creators, but a more hands-on approach, where do you go? And that's what I'm building, to where you get into my Break the Matrix community, and then later on my Web3 Education Center, which is going to be an extended version of that.
Nice.
So just building infrastructure, because we're in a new age, right?
Yeah.
Like none of this stuff existed, 10, 15 years ago, so it's just building these things out because it's needed.
And that's the basic thing you're doing, right? The foundation first, and then build the Web3, and then
Correct. Building
uh,
that foundation.
yeah, that's really amazing. And so then you're using that for your wealth building and wealth generation. You're tokenizing the real estate. Do you also, other than tokenizing on the real estate, do you also do work on the like a brick model real estate as well, like outside of tokenization? Because you mentioned earlier too, you
Yeah.
involved in real estate.
Yeah, so I had one of the biggest luxury rental companies in LA for about 12 years. And I built that business up from, 0 to 7-figure business.
Wow, that's amazing.
And yeah, so I took that concept and then I wanted to add the blockchain component to it. So then I
Okay.
started that. Then I started Jet Set about 3 years ago. And yeah, so we still do, traditional deals and whatnot, but we're going to be streamlining that whole process through the platform once, because right now we're in beta. And like I told you, we're tokenizing one of the biggest homes in
Right.
Texas, but we're going to be adding more deals, adding more homes to the platform, to where you can actually tokenize or even rent from us if you want to, get a house for a wedding or a party or a podcast, wherever the
I
case may
get that.
be.
Okay.
You'll be able to use our spaces for that too.
Gotcha.
So we have a multitude of different types of commercial and residential spaces you'll be getting from us as well. So slowly but surely, yeah, moving into the Web3 space, but yeah, we still have some traditional stuff too.
I see. So the traditional portfolio that you have, are you tokenizing them one by one?
Yeah, slowly, yeah, we're kind of onboarding. It's a process, but yeah, slowly but surely, we're getting them into the tokenization part.
Is this your portfolio, or other people's portfolio too?
Yeah, it's both. So we have a multitude of properties that we either own or manage exclusively,
Okay.
and we have about 50 or so properties, and we're going to be adding more. But so yeah, so it's a combination of the two.
Exactly. Okay, that's cool. And how then are you mostly targeting like real estate investors to see if they're interested in tokenizing, and they reach out to you for that?
Yeah, for sure. So through my videos, I just kind of like, show people like what it is and they want more information. So they get into my Telegram, they get into my school program, and from there they're just curious and they want to know more. And then once they kind of figure out what it is, then they'll move forward like, okay, this is great. I may want to do X, Y, and Z. We end up doing something together. So, but again, it comes from that education part first,
Right.
because they have to understand what it is. Most people don't know what tokenization is. Most people don't know what blockchain is or crypto to the masses. They've heard about it maybe here and there, but then you really got to educate them. Hey, this is what it is. This is what it's used for. Here's who's involved. Here's why it's here to stay. So on and so forth.
Right. So it's also like now I see a bigger picture, because if they put it on the blockchain, the tokenization of the blockchain, there'll be more eyeballs on it too.
Mm-hmm.
Because in real estate, you can only market to a certain people. Not
Right.
everybody can see, but if you tokenize it, the
it opens up the market. It opens up. It's a global economy at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, for sure.
So you educating them, and now they see. So that basically is an aha moment for them. to
Yeah.
generate shit. Oh, it's like, wow, okay.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. So when people understand, like, hey, you can sell 20% of your house globally and people can invest in that through tokenization, through the tokens,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, okay, I get it. So it's not just this small region. Now I can get people all around the world putting into my house or whatever the case may be. What it does is it creates a global economy, and money's going to move at the speed of light. It
Yeah.
solves the problem for cross-border payments. It solves the problem with the barrier to entry. It's lower.
Right.
Instead of having millions of dollars investing into real estate, you can start with $1,000 or
Right.
$5,000 to get your feet wet.
Yes.
But now you're in the game. Versus to where it's like, oh, you need to buy this house. You need to have hundreds of thousands of dollars
Right.
to even get one property. So that's what it
Wow.
does.
Think of the adoption for people who like even for affordable housing.
Hmm.
Yeah. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. It's gonna be and this is why like what we're doing, because the opportunities are endless. When it comes to anything of real world value, it completely changes the whole landscape. It completely changes the industry.
Yeah.
Nothing can be done the same at this point.
Right. Wow, that's amazing. Because I remember where the event last week, you mentioned that most of the people doing tokenization right now are doing like bond structures, like buying used treasury bonds.
Mm.
I think yours will be, I think the first one I've heard of residential, like real estate. So that's pretty cool. You can see so many things that can help. I guess the main thing for me thinking right now is affordable housing, because that's the biggest. I guess that's one of the things that people are talking a lot right now, because of people like homelessness and trying to solve
Right.
that. Yeah. So
Right.
yeah, that think about that would be amazing to be
Yeah.
able to help that those people that need houses that can't afford it.
Yeah. Even investing, like with certain stocks or whatever instrument it is, it lowers the barrier to entry, right? Again, so when you're fractionalizing something, you don't have to buy the entire
Thing,
asset. You can start with $500. You can start with 1,000 versus whatever it is you're investing in that takes tens of thousands or even millions.
Yeah.
So again, it opens up the market to opportunities for investors.
Wow, that's amazing. And what's the biggest advice right now you can give to people who are looking to start somewhere? You say discipline, focus, and what's another aspect that you can think of, like, that will be able to help and get them moving?
Yeah. I would just say, again, get with like-minded people, mentors, and then education. Because preparation eliminates fear. The more you're prepared, the less you're scared, right?
Correct. Yep.
So the more you know, you're not going to be fearful of investing or doing anything. So getting the knowledge first, that's the key. Getting the education. That's why I always tell people, hey, before you throw $1 into Bitcoin or any of this shit, educate yourself. Figure out what it is and why and how. Then you get comfortable, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, instead of I was comfortable throwing in $100, now I'll throw in 10,000 because I understand.
Yeah.
So that's the key. So educate yourself first, get educated, and then move from there.
So education is the number one thing, and be disciplined and just focus.
Yeah,
And
and that's the thing. You're not always going to be focused. I don't want to say cliche things. You're not always going to be focused. You're not always going to be disciplined. But if those are at the front of your table when it comes to discipline and you don't have to be motivated every day, but have that discipline, have that in the back of your mind, like, okay, if I want to do this and really do it at the highest level, it's going to take discipline. It's going to take some level of focus. And then as you acquire those habits and continue to do so, the easier it gets. It just becomes your life at that point.
Okay.
It's not something you're just doing. It's your life now.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle. So that is where the discipline really flourishes in your life, because now it's not discipline, it's just your life. You're just doing it by nature.
Yeah.
Right?
Make it a habit, right? If you keep doing it, it's just like walking.
Yeah, it's like walking.
Driving. Well, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's second nature. So those are the main key things for sure.
So building that habit is basically just to start and building that habit. So basically that's the key in everything in life, right? Just continue doing it, and it's so how can people reach out to you, and if they want to learn more about the education, Web3 tokenization, you're building a brand, where can people reach you?
Yeah, the best place is mavericapproach.com. Contact me there. Also on my Instagram, Maverick Approach, and then on my Instagram I have my link tree. So my link tree has all my stuff, all my tabs, my website, my TikTok, my YouTube, my Break the Matrix program.
Okay.
All that stuff is on there. So those are the best ways. So yeah, my website is full of great stuff, and has merch, and you find out things about me, my articles.
Yeah.
But then also my Instagram too is a good way, because my link tree has all my stuff on there. You could even, if you never even signed up to Coinbase, you can earn Bitcoin by signing up on there. So I have all different types of tabs, so people can just get familiar with who I am, what I do, and whatnot. So that's how they can find me.
Amazing. So mavericapproach.com, and then Instagram Maverick Approach.
Yeah, same handle. Yep.
And everything, all the information you can get is all from there.
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you again today, Maverick, for joining us. This has been a really amazing education. Just make sure to build that habit and start and focus and be disciplined. Not cliche, but just keep doing it.
Don't get it right, just get it going.
Yeah,
that's it.
Just like how you told me before, just you're here, we have issues, but just continue doing it, and start somewhere.
Yep, there you go.
Appreciate you, and
yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much again.
Yes, sir.